It's Magic Molly Mall, joined by my brother Trill and this week's special guest Amaya Moulton.
Hey y'all.
We're about to go ahead and hop into some hot social topics, sport news. Let's jump into it.
Let's go.
So,
Big time.
let them know. So when was the decision made that, okay, I'm going to be AKA over? What was it, this year, or was it you already knew when you came in freshman year?
Yeah, I already knew when I came to school that like that's what I wanted to do, that I was interested in. I just really had to like put my mind to it. I did cross my sophomore year, which a lot of people don't have the opportunity to do. So I was still like fresh to college. I only had 1 year under my belt. So it really opened my eyes to a lot of different opportunities that can be offered not only on my campus but outside of school, because that is something that is nationally known. So
Amazing. Yeah. I think fraternities is a huge thing, and I think kids should utilize them. You know, a place where you can join a huge network, you can join a brotherhood or sisterhood. You know, and I would love for my daughter, you know, to join something similar. You know, just seeing the camaraderie you guys have is beautiful. You know, so
thank you.
Definitely keep it up and keep up what you're doing.
Well, let them know more about yourself. What more do you do on campus, and what are you looking forward to do more of this upcoming fall that you probably didn't get to do this past year?
I am a double major. I just added my second major, so it did push my graduation date back a year, unfortunately. But I will graduate in 2027, and I will have 2 bachelor's degrees, a bachelor in criminal justice and a bachelor's in social work. I also just got elected Miss Senior at North Carolina Central University, so I do. Thank you. So I do represent like most of the seniors at my campus. And one thing I really want to do differently this year is just like do a better job at like hearing everybody out. This is my first year being on Royal Court, and I do love serving my school and my community. So I really just want to use that opportunity to engage with my peers and really see like what plans they have and how I can help be the voice in between to kind of make those dreams turn to reality.
Heck yeah, that's major. That's major. Always hearing so many great things, you know, coming out of NCCU and seeing how you pushing the vision. That's amazing.
I have a friend who like just graduated law school. I have a friend who just entered law school. So I had aspirations to be a lawyer. So just being around people that want so much for themselves, it really motivates me to keep going and be the best version of myself. So
absolutely.
Shout out NCCU.
Hell yeah.
So as a senior, and what you your role at the school is, what will you say for the upcoming freshmen or people who think about coming to Central? What would be your statement or
some advice? I would say number one, remember why you're there, because college is very distracting. There's a lot of things, whether it's boys or parties or anything that could really like stop you from realizing your true like reason for being there is to graduate and further your education. So as long as you don't get lost in all the other stuff and you really remember why you're there, I feel like, you know, you'll come out pretty strong. Don't procrastinate, y'all. Like, please don't procrastinate. I have a really bad habit of doing that, and then last minute I just find myself scrambling to get everything together. That's a goal I have like for myself, is just to do better with being ahead of the ball so I'm not behind. So I would definitely say don't procrastinate. Another thing would just say stay true to yourself. Like who you are as a person really does matter. And I feel like the more genuine you are when you talk to people, the more that they'll be able to see who you really are, and it'll help you get further, whether that's networking opportunities, whether that's building relationships with like professors or staff, or even meeting friends. So definitely just be yourself.
I feel like, you know, with college, your freshman, sophomore year, it's going to be that pressure or seeing or being around different people from different states that you never seen before.
And I feel like that's a crucial age. You know, when you go into college, you're 17, 18 years old. A lot of people either don't know who they are, or like they're just finding out who they are. Or some people find out who they are in college through different like organizations and like, you know, different clubs that they feel pique their interest. So just definitely get involved. Definitely look for things. A lot of schools, like I know definitely HBCUs, they have a lot of organizations. Like my school has over 100 different student-led organizations. So just find something that interests you, whether it's modeling, whether it's like anything, business, social work, anything. They have clubs for everything.
So what made you, coming from senior, what made you pick a HBCU over a prestige school? What would you say to a kid now that's looking at maybe a UNC Charlotte or thinking of going to like a Florida A&M or Central A&T?
So like that's a crazy story actually because when I was a senior and we had like decision day is a big deal, May 1st, everybody posts where they're going to college. I actually toured Georgia State and committed to Georgia State. Like I
Oh
went
yeah,
with my
Georgia State,
mom.
nice.
Yeah.
Georgia State's a great
Oh
school.
yeah.
I love Georgia State, but I don't know. Like when we had decision day at my school, like my dance teacher, who knows me very, very well, she was like, I could just tell you weren't happy like with your decision. Like everybody had on
Yeah.
their like HBCU gear, and I was not really happy. I didn't do anything about it. I stayed with Georgia. I was all about going to Georgia. And then like over the summer, I just told my mom like I really think I want to go to HBCU, and she was like, "That's it. I'm calling Central, and if they have a spot available, I'm switching you right now." And that's what she did. So it really wasn't even my decision to go there. I do have a best friend that just graduated from there.
Facts.
So that is kind of like the last place I wanted to go just because I would always go up there and visit my friends being a senior in high school. And I did know that with me having friends there, I felt like I would just cling on to them and
Yeah.
not be able to really branch out and just go where I'm comfortable. And that's one thing that I didn't want for myself, which is why I feel like I kind of forced myself to go to another school. But I really feel like God had other
Yeah.
plans, and
Yeah.
you end
Are
up
you,
where you're
are you
meant
from
to
North
be.
Carolina?
I'm not. I'm originally from Florida. My
Okay,
mom,
what part?
I'm from
Florida.
St. Pete.
St. Pete? Okay, you by the
Yeah.
Tampa area.
Yeah, like
Okay,
30, 45
813.
minutes. 727.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
That-
727.
I'm familiar with the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out
So
to
you
Florida
from-
for sure.
You a while from
So what
home.
made you not? Was Florida A&M not on the choice?
It was. It was actually
Yeah.
very high on the choice. And I moved to North Carolina my freshman year of high school with my mom. So she really just wanted me to get a better education. But Florida A&M did offer me in-state tuition. So it was very high on my list. And I was like, I don't know. But she was like, we just moved out of there. She didn't want me to
Facts.
go back.
Yeah.
But-
Shout out to Central. Central is definitely
Yeah.
a
Eagle
top notch
Pride.
school.
Oh yeah.
For sure now.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
One of
Yeah.
the best law schools in the country.
Oh yeah.
Heck
For
yeah.
sure.
If not the best, Heck yeah, you show off, you put on for the city good. We're glad to have you. We're glad to
Y'all
have
make
you.
y'all
sure
for
y'all
that.
tap in with her. We're
Yeah.
gonna make sure we have her name under below. If nobody already know, make sure before we start, go ahead and let them know all your how
The
they can
socials.
follow you or contact you
Okay.
if they wanna.
All my socials are pretty much the same. It's just my first and last name, Amaya Moulton. Same
Sorry.
thing, email, everything.
Okay, and then for right now, let's say someone wants to book you or have you for something. What kind of service or things would you be willing to do right now with your schedule? And the summer's coming. Would you be willing to do like guest speaking or public speaking or like modeling, pageant? What
Yeah.
are you
So I was gonna say,
interested?
I am a model. I do a lot of like partnerships and brand ambassador deals with different like Black-owned businesses, different clothing brands. So I'm kind of trying to get into content creating a little bit. So hopefully that'll be in the works
Oh, yeah.
soon. But
Oh, yeah,
I don't
tap
know.
in.
I am very busy, so I try
Oh,
to
yeah.
find time for everything.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, make sure y'all tap in.
For sure, for sure. Well, we're gonna jump
Yeah,
into this
right.
conversation. We got some hot topics to talk to you about. And welcome to the show, Maya.
Thank you for having me.
And I hope it doesn't get too spicy for you. We're
Oh.
gonna try to keep it G a little bit, but let's go ahead and do it. So, man, I don't know if you heard or not. Tory Lanez stabbed 14 times in prison. We all seen how the Megan Thee Stallion situation transpired in court.
Yeah.
Him sentenced to 10 years. Insane, crazy story. What you think about that, man?
Man, I feel like it's a sticky situation. Like, was this a hit or call from someone else that's not in it, or was just politics in someone he had a problem with inside? I really, we gotta get more information on it.
Can you see some crazy news just
Yeah.
drop with his lawyer announcing that apparently Kelsey, Megan's best friend, just came, her bodyguard, Kelsey's bodyguard, just came out and said that he's seen Kelsey shoot her.
Yeah,
And he didn't say anything, I guess, because he was trying to protect Kelsey, but that just totally shakes up the whole, situation, and
yeah.
crazy, man.
Yeah, I feel like that's a touchy situation. I feel like I need more information before I really, but like I think everyone knows Tory probably is innocent though. But it's more.
love
I don't
Tory
know.
Lanez.
Right. I don't know about that shit.
I
bro.
love Tory Lanez. I love Tory Lanez so much. I've been listening to his music for years, so I'm a little biased.
Yeah, like it's. How do you feel? Like, do you feel this was a fair case, or do you feel this is more got to do with the entertainment business?
I'm not not gonna lie, like as far as that, I don't know because I feel like when you get into celebrities and stuff like that, stuff is it could be really messy, and a lot of stuff could be like hidden or covered up, and you would never know. Just like the whole other thing that's going on, like it's always a lot of mess. But I honestly don't think he did it. I'm a very big music person. So like I said, I've been listening to his music a really long time. I know like after that situation happened, he dropped an album. I believe it was Daystar, and it just had like a lot of emotion in it. And I feel like you could kind of hear in his voice like how bad he wanted to tell the truth or for the truth to come out, and he was just kind of sitting back a little bit.
See that bring it back to the situation. Like apparently, there's this law out here, no snitching. That's something like if apparently he must have knew she started this whole time. Why don't you tell us the information?
Yeah. I mean, he was right there, and then the situation was, he probably was already sleeping with her, so it wouldn't make sense if he did say she's shooting. Nobody was gonna believe him anyway.
It's a messy situation all around, man.
We gotta get more information.
I just feel like you never really know because you weren't there. You feel me? Like it ain't no telling. Like only 3 people or 4 people know the truth, and that's only the people that was there. Like
in that car.
It ain't really no telling what happened for real.
I think he made a lot of errors. You know what I'm saying? Like
before that situation.
Yeah, like him calling her the night after, apologizing from the jail phone, so they recording this. You know what I'm saying? And him, like, he should have kept it all off the media. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, if you might have made a mistake like this. Because
then you got to remember that I believe it was the Rolling Loud, and then the Baby had a set that day, and then they had their new song, Scat, and then he came on stage. But at that time, Megan Thee Stallion was performing next. Mm-hmm. So that made her get the restraining order.
Yeah.
You get me?
He should have paid her like 5 or 10.
More like he was taunting her at first, so.
Because to me, I don't take coincidence. You know what I'm saying? This story coming out with the bodyguard saying that Kelsey shot him right after he gets stabbed 14 times. I'm sure a call was made like, bro, like we need a last ditch effort to really try to get out of here, bro. Because I just think he just made so many errors. It's like, bro, you gotta control your liquor, bro.
But like that's scary. You in like a state prison and you can't even feel like protected. Like,
maximum security. He in there with other crazy folks. Not the feds with the the ballers. He in there with other like highly violent criminals. So that shit's scary.
Yeah, Max and
I know he gonna do it. That shit ain't funny, but I know he gonna do it.
I would last a day.
How tall is he? 5'2", 5'1"?
He's like my height.
Yeah.
Damn. He better goddamn stay behind some big boys.
Hopefully he start reading them books and find a law or something that they start reading them books. Find something in there.
He need to go to DC, man. He ain't gonna last that long. Definitely out west with the Mexican gangs.
Oh yeah.
Cause they say a Mexican the one that got up with him.
Where he at?
I think he in LA or California, somewhere in California.
Yeah, California.
And they say the Mexican that they posted that did it face tatted, so it's like, he did.
But I seen something that was talking about like his lawyer was trying to just get him to recover at home and like be set free and stuff.
Yeah, he trying to get house arrest.
It ain't going like that.
I don't think they're going for that.
It ain't going like that.
It done took too long.
I would say if anything, like transfer him just for his safety. You know.
Exactly.
Because apparently, from what I was hearing, a lot of the Latinos didn't like how he was kind of running the prison. He had a lot of guys under his wing and protection and
super fans.
And it seemed like he was allowing a lot of the brothers to come up, and a lot of the Latinos don't like that because it's very divided out there in the West Coast prison. So, man, I hope they do something, man.
Prayers up for Tory.
Yeah,
That's
crazy, man. But speaking on the Tory situation, I wanted to ask also. I guess it deals with like domestic violence. That's a huge topic nowadays, and I know that it's prevalent in college. You possibly have seen it with friends. And do you think that's something that needs to be addressed earlier or earlier on with like students, freshmen that come into college?
I mean, honestly, I haven't seen a lot of that since I've like been in school for real. I've definitely like been around it before with friends, like personal situations. But as far as like that being in school, I don't really like see that as a concern. I definitely think like it should be addressed earlier on, like maybe not even in school, but like maybe at home. Like more people should like bring it to situations. It's kind of like mental health. Like it's a big thing, but people don't really talk about it for real. So I feel like it should be more of an open topic that people are okay to talk about. But also like I'm one of those people that doesn't judge because you never know how hard it is to like say no and walk away because you're not in that person's shoes. And like a lot of people that are victims of domestic violence, it also comes with a lot of mental abuse and like brainwashing, and you don't really know anybody's situation or, you know, their self-confidence level or what they're dealing with, male or female, to really sit there and judge because it's easier said than done.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I feel like with the domestic violence, it should just be more, like she said, awareness and more of an open door policy for females or males in college. It should just be more of an open door policy or somewhere they feel they can really go or talk to somebody.
I know a lot of schools too, they have like counselors on campus.
Yeah,
so like shout out to the schools that have that because that's very beneficial, especially when you don't know like a student's situation, financial situation. Maybe they can't afford therapy, but the school offers it for free. So that's a really big plus to some schools. I know my school does that and I really like that. So
shout out to Central.
Yeah.
Eagle Pride.
I definitely agree with that. I believe there should be a program, you know, like you said, open door policy for freshmen to be, you know, aware of, you know, these are new emotions. This is a big transition that you're about to have in your life, you know, with relationships, with school. And you got to be able to control your emotions. You know, a lot of these kids don't know how to control their emotions. They don't understand, you know, what they're being faced with at this point of their lives. And if you can get it now, you know, at this stage of your life, it'll definitely help you a lot down the road because a lot of these kids just don't know how to, you know, maintain their emotions, man.
And you got to think about it, like when you coming in as a freshman, you like she said, 17, 18, but you got seniors and people who've been there longer, and you never know as a freshman or sophomore, you know, the age at that point don't matter. So you might have got entwined with a senior. As a freshman, you gotta know how to balance that. That's a lot of difference. So that's another thing you gotta have awareness
I feel like
on campus.
College is all about discovery.
Yeah,
you know? It's about finding yourself, like finding what you like, what you don't like with people, with things, like with anything for
Culture.
real. It's like a milestone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a huge chapter. One of the biggest chapters of your life.
It is. The person I was when I entered college is not the same person I am right now, and I'm not even done. So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you just started.
Yeah, beautiful time, you know. Fun time. But yeah, so also I wanted to ask, I don't know if you guys heard about the so DDG and his girlfriend Haley Bailey. I guess she just put a restraining order out on him. We've seen them quite a bit in the media with their son, you know.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of messy. You know, I didn't see this coming. I don't know if you guys follow them or not.
Oh yeah, I've been following it.
I've been seeing some stuff, not a lot.
Yeah.
It's messy.
I feel like they ain't really putting a lot of information, or I'm not either dialing in enough. But so far, I just feel like it's you know how it goes when you know first child
baby,
together.
First baby will try you, man.
So I feel like hopefully he stay prayed up for DDG for sure. But I just hope, you know, DDG move the right way because this could be bigger than just Holly. You know, she's protected and have good people around her. So I just hope he does right by her because I don't think she would do something to want to harm, you know, the father of her kid. But still, it's other people may be around her. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. What I'm seeing, she's asking for sole custody. You know, and when it's to that point, it's just like, bro, yeah, you got some work to do. You got some work.
You gotta look at yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, Haley Bailey, and her family, they're very connected. You know, to Jay-Z and Beyonce. You know, they've been very outspoken about that. And yeah, I definitely don't like to see him in a situation like this. He doesn't seem like
he's doing good.
Yeah, he don't seem like he's beating her ass, but we don't know. We don't know. You know, that's the crazy thing about it. And I hope they can, you know, fix it, you know, for the kid's sake. Because you never want to see these situations, you know, definitely when it involves a kid, you know, and, you know, hopefully it doesn't get bad. We got too many, you know, powerful brothers, you know, in these situations, you know, so definitely don't want to see him like this. It's just crazy.
What you think, Amaya?
I don't really know. Kind of
like
you.
Situation,
it is, but kind of like you said, I haven't really been like following it that much. You know, like I don't really stay tapped into all that for real. I feel like it's just you never, like I said, you never know. Like it's so many different stories, and then
entertainment business.
Someone come out from the woodworks with a different story. Like people trying to get money telling the story. People that you know might know the real telling the story. It just be so much different. Like he say, she say, back and forth. That it's like you never.
And that's the bad thing. Like you said, like people trying to get money selling stories, you know.
That aren't even true.
Yeah, and it just hurts for the girls whose stories are true, you know. And
Yeah, exactly.
that's the crazy part, man. Because I've seen a lot of clips where like Haley is speaking like she's very vindictive. You know, she can have an attitude at times, and you see these situations pop up, you know, and it's just like, man, all these guys monsters. You know, I know everyone. You know, some of these girls are telling lies, you know, or being coached, you know, and hope we can get out of it, man.
I feel like now, like since the 2020s, around 2016, it's like it's that as well, but it's now more of a lane and access for women that probably really did happen to them, and they're the ones, but they don't. Like everyone's not telling the truth, but it is someone that actually is. So
They understand their
you
rights
gotta
now.
be able, they understanding the assets that they have now to be able for more people, to really get their point across or push what they're trying to push.
That's facts.
Yeah.
Because for the longest, you know, a lot of these women been taken advantage of.
At that time, 2010s or 2005, like it probably wouldn't have gone. It's like now it's more access, more network, more people's gonna see it on social media, more acceptance to it.
I got it. Yeah, man. That makes sense. Also, they seeing these girls get paid. They just trying to get in line for who's next. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
And that's the sad part. It's like, man, you see Shannon in this shit like that, you know?
Exactly.
And it's just like, man, I hope
That's
these
I feel
guys
like
make
once
it out.
like we said last time, once you get in position and get in that lane, you need to be even more straight and narrow and like what you're doing. You gotta know and keep stuff in house.
Yeah.
So when you got a lady, you got what you got going on. Keep that in house. Because the more you getting bigger, the more people gonna be trying to use you.
I feel like not everything need to be public knowledge.
Facts.
Like that, I feel like that's just what it come down to, especially when you are like famous or in a position where like a lot of people know you. Like it's okay to keep some chapters of your life closed. And I know it'd be hard, especially with paparazzi and blogs and TMZ. People always trying to get stories out of you, but it's only so much you could do in that situation. So I thank God I'm not famous.
You right.
Because
I couldn't be famous. I don't want to be famous.
Because like half these posts or stories, I'd be like, bro, why are you bringing this shit to the internet? What are we gonna do about it? You know, I just seen I think Lil Wayne's girlfriend came to the internet like, yeah, he just kicked me out on Mother's Day with my daughter. I'm like, man, well, you need to call a hotel. I don't know what Instagram gonna do about it, but laugh at you. You know what I'm saying?
That's what the
and then like the shade room be killing me sometimes. Like, let's say I'm famous, I go get a dog. They be like, oh, Amaya Moulton posted up with a new pup. Like, just the most random stuff. Like, just let people
they be sending it to them now. Like, that's the point now with shade room and TMZ. Like, the people is actually sending them to them because they want that to be.
Be messy, be messy and shit.
Sometimes they ain't even gotta go to get it no more. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, man. You got friends now secretly recording you. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get you in your most vulnerable moments. Shit's crazy, man. It's just crazy.
I be seeing a lot of clips like that of like famous people, and it be like them, and it look like they in a room with like 4 or 5 people, and it be like, oh, this person got in an altercation with this person. I'm like, well, dang, who was behind the camera? Who was behind the camera?
Yeah, that shit's crazy. Who to trust? That's the scary part about being famous. I feel like.
Yeah. Do you? Well, you don't gotta have the fame. I really just have the value and the worth. Just having all the fame and. Everybody, you're going to be known and seen where you go once you get to that level, but it's about knowing how to balance it and still keeping a stable life in your personal life.
And it's a difference between being known and being famous, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be known. I want to make an impact. I want people to, like, know my name when it come across a piece of paper. But as far as, like, famous, like paparazzi famous, TMZ famous, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm really cool.
Yeah. It's another entertainment business, man. So, but you're gonna end up getting there, like I said, either way, the way you going. But you don't. It's just how you approach it, in. Because every artist and people we listen to ain't on that level or doing all that. Like I like how J. Cole moved. Like he come out, he do what he need to do, but. We don't see too much of his
That's what I'm saying.
life.
There's some people that are famous and like you never hear nothing about them, like nothing at all. They be so under the radar. Adam Sandler, my favorite. When they be talking about him dressing like a normal person, like that would be me in my sweatpants and my t-shirt.
Exactly. I think some of these celebrities forget, you're a normal person.
Yeah.
You believe you're gonna die one day just like everyone else. Be humble. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Like a good point, like with Kevin Hart when he went on Kai. Like, I feel like that brought him back to, you know, to
And
the
he's
age.
so goofy. Like I love
Yeah.
watching him. He's so
Like,
funny.
that was a good one.
Yeah.
Still staying
Yeah.
fresh into what's going on in the youth. That was a good one.
Yeah, that's how you stay young for real. For real, man.
And that's how you keep your like following up. Like the people who watch you, like that was like I know he did that probably just because that's the type of person he is and he goofy, but you got to think about all the people that are 15, 16 that be on Casting Ass Twitch that might not necessarily know who Kevin Hart is because he a little older now they know, which I'm pretty sure everybody know who Kevin Hart is, but if you didn't, now you do. So
they're gonna be going to the next movie. Exactly.
Facts. Well, probably the most disturbing story on the on the news right now. Diddy, you know, on trial right now. His trial started. Man, I'm reading these transcripts, man. This shit is getting ugly, getting nasty.
I think it's second day. Second day.
Yeah. But from what I'm hearing, his team is winning though. They say from what it's looking like right now, it doesn't look like a racketeering case. You know, if anything, it's a domestic violence case. They've already kind of put it out there like, okay, we know that Diddy's, you know, he's an abuser. You know, but that's a state case. You know, you guys are trying to charge him racketeering. That means the whole organization was moving foul. You know, and he's the only one.
I feel like that's the best he gonna get. Like if he can get it to not be a racketeering or like a group, you know, case, he's still gonna get charged though, like for like the Cassie stuff and whatever else he had was doing with the kids, and so it's more to it. So just because he get off the racketeering don't mean like he gonna. So it's gonna be more envelopes that's gonna open if they drop that charge.
So this is my thing on it. So I know that we all know like industry chicks that, you know, they chase these guys just to get into the industry, you know. But are they victims when it goes south? You know, like are they know what they're doing to get into these rooms. And I'm sure you see women, you know, pick-me's, they might call themselves pick-me's, so they're gonna do whatever they gotta do to get picked, you know. Like are the guys wrong, you know, for having the status to be able to call those shots, you know, and it's nasty, yeah, they wild.
Like
but
I get you, but I feel like with Cassie, like when we was young, so I feel like when Cassie came introduced to me, like she had just dropped those 2 good songs. Like this before we even knew she was with Diddy. So we was waiting for the next song, next single. But then we realized, then we seen the news about her with Diddy.
Yeah.
No more music comes. So I feel like Diddy probably didn't like the attention and flair she was getting with becoming an artist, because you know how that go. So he made her just, you know, do stuff, other stuff to keep her busy. Right. She probably really wanted to be an artist.
Or she may not even have been that talented enough to be
with the music
to be an artist, but she was fine. So I know he seen he was attracted to her.
Ways. Facts.
And I think that she's seen the opportunity that lied with being with Diddy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't agree with anything that like the wild stuff he was doing, but we gotta.
It go both ways. I said that too.
Is it criminal? Yeah. Or is it just wild freaky? You know what I'm saying? So.
But like you said, like it could with Cassie, does she know any information or had any doing when it came to learn more women or young kids? So that's the only thing I had a question for Cassie. I feel like everything she's saying is right. That's why he wanted the settlement. But still, did Cassie have any knowledge on or helping lure more women or kids into those?
Man, absolutely. See, my take on it from the transcripts that I'm reading, they're living a wild life, drug-filled life. They're having their fun. Apparently, from what the escorts are saying, she enjoyed it. You know.
Yeah.
It's a messy situation. I think that when you in love with people, it can make you do some crazy things. Exactly, you know what I'm saying?
Like I feel like she was in love with him for one point. What you think? What you think about the situation, Amaya?
I'm not gonna lie, y'all know I'm a little young.
Yeah.
So I never really knew that they was together for real. I do remember like listening to her music on the radio and stuff, but also with this situation and like this case, I kind of have not really been paying attention. Like, of course, I know about like the big stuff that people were talking about, like when it first happened, like the baby oil and stuff like that. But like, I haven't really been too tapped in on it to really like give an opinion. I feel like it's so many parts to the puzzle it's kind of hard to keep up. Like,
Yeah.
it's more than one puzzle. It's
Yeah.
a couple puzzles.
Exactly. That's
Because
what I'm saying. It's just starting.
yeah,
Like either like
because I believe they're trying to paint this picture of kind of like the dominance that he had over her, or in the control, you know.
yeah,
And but
like
also
yeah.
they're saying like as she's like explaining the story, you could tell that there's feelings there, you know, that she did truly love him.
Yeah.
So it's a trafficking case, you know. They're trying to like show that okay, he's trafficking these women and he's kind of doing it, and he's controlling her to traffic these men and women or whatever. And what it looked like to me is she was trying to make her husband, her boyfriend happy. She was really in love with him, and like he said, you know, if you're in a relationship with somebody, they may do something they might not normally do.
Yeah.
But wasn't it like a bunch of other people that was coming out saying stuff about like his parties and stuff?
Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't hear that part. I know there was rumors going around like he had wild sex parties, and she did speak about
But like
that.
I thought it was other people. So like, is this case like the case that's happening right now? That's strictly about like him and her.
No, he has the whole.
Oh,
It's
it's
the
about
whole-
it's his
about
whole
the
thing.
whole- yeah.
Oh, she just like
But this
testified or
is her
something.
second day coming on.
Yeah, she the key witness.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just starting.
It's gonna be a long
Then look,
time.
this thing I'm thinking of that, of course, a lot of people and women for sure is gonna be okay with Diddy going down and getting his time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about the big picture of it, okay, so who is all the other puzzles to the pieces that's
Right.
not gonna get named? Like the people who was endorsing the locations, endorsing the tunnels that they was going under,
Protecting them.
and who was giving all that liquor and the drugs, like the party favors.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and those are names that will never be mentioned because, you know, it's levels to it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I feel like the stuff that she was doing, there's
Yeah.
no way you can do that shit if you don't love your partner. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like they talking about she was gargling on pee. I'm like, bro, what? I'm like, bro, that shit was like crazy.
I feel like it
You know
got
what
out
I'm
of
saying?
hand. I feel like he was having some parties like when he first started, and you know, and then after a while it became a fraternity sorority to him. You know, like for adults. You know what I'm saying? Like his age. It became their own little sorority golf club.
Bro, let Hollywood
And
tell
it
it,
got
bro.
out of hand.
A
And
lot of them are
became
like that.
other people who wasn't a part of it wanted to be a part of it and then started endorsing the parties. And that's when it became more and more.
Yeah.
But I feel like Diddy is just the main monkey of the show. But like, who's the other people behind it?
You
Those
right.
the ones that's not gonna get named.
French Montana was his best friend. You can't tell me that's one of your right hands, and you ain't doing that type of shit too, bro. Y'all traveling the world
A lot
together.
of artists been quiet. A lot of
Yeah.
artists from the '90s to now.
Yeah, we ain't gonna speak upon people
Nah.
that ain't brought into it.
Nah.
I ain't gonna do them like
I
that.
feel like Diddy is just like I said, the face and the one who, like, when you throw in a club or party, you need somebody who's really gonna be known on the flyer.
Mm-hmm.
Diddy is that person, but who's the person that's throwing
Yeah.
all
And I hate how like everyone has turned their back on Diddy, but everyone knows back in the day, it was a sign of status to get invited to a Diddy party. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And yeah, I'm listening to Cassie, but I know that she felt and enjoyed some of that status being with Diddy. And from her testimony, I'm seeing it's just like pretty privilege. You know, like people don't want to see it for what it is, but
Yeah.
you know, she sued for money. You know, from what the escorts were saying, she called back and was having like private sessions without Diddy.
Sorry.
So
Yeah.
I'm like,
I read it.
you know, so it's getting messy.
Yeah.
You know,
it's,
and all this stuff is allegedly.
it's only her second day though, so that's what I'm saying. More will be unfold. She'll eventually, either if she's, you know, she's gonna eventually tell the truth because the more she talks, the more.
Yeah, it's gonna get messy. Yeah, it's only day 2.
Yeah,
It's
only
an
day
8-week
2.
trial, bro.
Exactly.
It's just gonna get messy, bro.
Long trial. Shout out to pray. Like I said, prayers up for everybody in that situation.
Yeah, man.
Not picking sides for neither. I don't know.
Yeah, my heart goes out to Cassie because
yeah,
domestic violence is a terrible thing. Any man that puts their hands on a woman,
domestic
you know, you're a
violence
coward.
awareness.
You know, and we definitely want to bring more awareness to it. Please don't be afraid to ask for help. You know, and you know, like I said, we don't respect any man that puts their hands on a woman. But yeah, so we want to definitely bring awareness to that. So
For sure.
hell yeah.
We definitely want Amaya. We want you to tell the people what you want to leave with them today. What you want to leave. What's gonna be your final statement out?
One thing I want to say is just remember to remain true to yourself. Remember to stay real to who you are as a person. And just always put your trust in God, man. He got you.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
that first.
And I definitely, before we leave out, I wanted, we got to do, I got a trivia I wanted to go over.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be quick, be a few seconds.
Okay.
So just whatever your first answer is, I do and then you do it. You'll see how I do it and then you do the next
I bet.
one. All right, so we're
I'm
going
scared.
to, no, just, it's going to be a second few. We're going to name two names and then you just pick wherever you prefer,
Okay.
off the name we say. All right, my first, you say you from Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so music-wise, Kodak Black, Plies.
Mm. Mm. They gonna get me. Kodak Black.
Kodak
Oh, yeah.
Black.
Kodak Black.
Yeah, that's right.
Trivia. What's a good a question you would like to ask her?
Okay. J. Cole or the Baby? North Carolina. J. Cole or the Baby?
J.
J.
Cole.
Cole.
J. Cole.
Okay.
Okay. From your two majors, which one do you feel, you prefer? Criminal justice or social work?
They go hand in hand. I would say probably maybe social work.
Social work.
Maybe social work.
Okay.
Shout out to my
Yeah.
social work profession.
Okay. Let me think.
Leave out with a bang one.
If I would have bang. Yeah, you might gotta help me out, man. I'm trying to
All
think.
right, I
Man.
got. Which one is more relevant or more important to you? Homecoming week or the first week of when y'all first come back? Like, I know you got all those roles you got to do now.
Oh, like
the
welcome
job.
week.
Like first week of school, is that which one is more relevant for you right now? Homecoming week or
Homecoming.
homecoming?
Homecoming. Love a good homecoming.
Shout out to Central. Sure. Shout out
Oh
to
yeah.
Central.
So, Amaya, if you could tell us about your last 4 years at Central, how's your journey been?
It's actually been really good. Like, I was always one of those kids in high school that I was not really involved in a lot. Like, I really didn't do anything except for I think I was on yearbook club for a little bit my senior year. But as far as like sports or like being involved in school, I really didn't do much. So I always knew like when I came to college, like that's the change I wanted to make. Like, I really did want to get involved with my campus community and just my community in general. So I would say the past 4 years was really good. My freshman year, I started off and I did SAB, which is like the Student Activities Board. So they're the people behind the scenes that help plan like the homecoming and the spring fling weeks, like the gospel concert, the homecoming concert, like all the stuff they have in the Greek Bowl. SAB puts all that together. So shout out to them. That was really fun. And it just allowed me to like meet a lot of cool people that just like to have fun, like a safe fun. It's a difference between like going out and partying crazy and doing all that hooting and hollering and just having fun within your own campus and your own community. So it was like a safe fun. So it was really fun to meet people like that. And then my sophomore year, I started in 1111 Durham, which is a community service organization. So they really it's a nonprofit and they just do community service in the Durham community. So that was really cool. And then I also joined a cheer team. We have a recreational team at our school called Elite Cheer. So I joined that. That was great. Like, I got to meet some cool people who I'm still friends with to this day. And I got to cheer, which I love doing. And I also crossed my sophomore year into the Alpha Chi chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So that was great. I love my sisters. I love everybody I met through that process. And then, yeah, my junior year was this year. This was a crazy year. I'm not going to lie. I don't know how I made it, but I
trying,
did.
yeah.
It was.
Trying, yeah.
Last year, it was my first like full year being an AKA, so that was pretty fun just to like venture out more with that, like help come up with some of the events and stuff we do on campus, like collab with other organizations. So like that was really cool. A lot of community service is really what that looked like for me. I also ran in the beginning of first semester to be a junior class senator, which they're part of the Student Government Association, and they just really help with like funding for different organizations on campus. So I really helped with that, and I got to work closely with the vice president of our school and the other senators from every class. So that was really cool. And then this semester that just passed, I actually did 2 pageants on campus. So I did the Miss Black and Old Gold Scholarship Pageant, which is a scholarship pageant for Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Okay. So I was able to raise money towards some of their initiatives and nonprofits, and I was also able to be crowned as Miss Gamma Beta. So that was really cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Sure. And then we had campaign week, which was very crazy. That's for like all the Royal Court and president and vice president positions on campus. So I did run for Miss Senior and I did win. So I will be representing the senior class next year. So I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to that. I really feel like senior year is going to bring a lot of blessings. So it's going to be good.
Keep putting on.
For sure.
Keep putting on Black excellence. Making the city proud for sure. Yeah, big shout out to the AKA again. For sure. She putting on for y'all. Y'all got a good one in y'all hands.
I'll make sure y'all stay tapped in with her. She'll probably be back again.
We'll definitely on camera. Come watch the boys play.
For sure.
Oh, yes. I'll be on the stage waving. Sure. On the field waving, so.
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining us. Again, Amaya Moulton.
Thank y'all for having me.
Y'all follow her on the socials.
Yes.
Heck yeah, man.
Book me.
Book her. Make sure her link will be in her bio as well.
Heck yeah. Check in with us next week. Checking out.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.